Welcome to the Best of the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration attorney, and we're happy to welcome you. And we want to say thank you to everyone who supports us on all our platforms, especially those who write to us on social media, follow us, and share their immigration stories with us. We're grateful to the community that we have built together and has inspired us to create this podcast. We hope you enjoy it. Dust Cloud is here. Hello.
Hello, Jim. How you doing?
Great.
This first-time caller, so I'm not really up to scratch with previous your history, but I hear that you're an excellent guy to talk to. So just to follow up, basically, our story is I have an L1A visa, working here for an international company, and over the last few months, I met my girlfriend who is actually on asylum. Now, the question is, we intend to get married somewhere down the line. But as she's on asylum, it has a couple of issues. First of all, if I wanted to convert through the company and they would sponsor a green card, would we be eligible, or would she be eligible to get a green card as well? That's the first question.
Sure. Let's hear a little bit about her asylum case. Has she had an interview?
Not yet. She's under protected status. Basically, she has her I-797 work permit. She's actually in full-time employment in a legitimate, let's say, in the aviation business here in the States. She has a state ID, temporary driver's license.
I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to know about asylum. So when did she file her asylum case?
I think it was in April. Is it May? May of last year. May of last year.
Okay. And when did she enter the United States? Do you know that?
Around about April.
So she applied for asylum while she was on her valid visit visa.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct, because her valid tourist visa at the time she was qualified she had a tourist visa when she entered the States. It was valid until October.
So she enters she gets a 6-month entry. About a month later, she applies for asylum. And as we sit here today in 2025, she's not had an interview.
Correct.
Okay. And how far has the green card process started for you?
Not yet, because this was something that we just, since we met, it was September, and we've been living together practically since November, basically. But we are definitely intending to go that route. I haven't started it yet because I'm waiting for the company to initiate the process.
Okay, so here's what you need to understand as it relates to your wife. Or your wife-to-be. Let's say you guys got married. Let's just play it out, okay? You guys get married next week. On June 1st, your employer files the I-140 for you and then eventually files for your 485, right?
Right.
On the day that the employer files the 485 for your wife, or you file it, whoever's filing it. But on the day the 485 is filed, she has to be in valid immigration status, okay? Mm-hmm. So you said she has TPS, and you said she has an asylum case that's been pending since right after she arrived.
Exactly.
So on paper, her status ran out in October of 2024, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right. But she filed a timely asylum case while she was still in valid status. So mm-hmm. This is the exact issue that I went to San Bernardino, California on Tuesday. It wasn't an employment-based adjustment, but it was an adjustment based on marriage to a green card holder. So because you're not a U.S. citizen, she falls into an employment-based preference category, and that would be the EB1 category as spouse, right?
Right.
So because it's a preference category, she has to be in status on the day she files the green card. Now, as we know, her status ran out in October, but there is case law, and the case law is pretty good, that says that if you file an asylum application before your visa, your authorized stay runs out, then that can be a bridge of status between the time that you filed invalid status and the time that you filed your 485. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
But if in the time before you file the 485 for your wife to be, if she gets sent to the immigration court, that bridge falls down.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I'm kind of wondering.
Because the whole theory is that she should not be punished for USCIS's inability to act in a timely manner on her asylum case. So in other words, if she did everything right to keep her asylum case going and filed it on time, she should not be punished due to their delay, and that therefore she can benefit from their delay and properly adjust status. Now, this is a hard thing to pull off. As I mentioned, I was like fighting about this at the San Bernardino field office on Tuesday, and every time we've done this probably 10 times now, we've always won, but it's a pretty technical argument. And like I went in there with a 10-page brief citing about 5 cases.
Wow. Could I just intervene there? Just one thing. Like, let's say, for example, tomorrow she's called for her case. Okay. And I'm still waiting for the company to, proceed with the green card application or a sponsorship, let's say. Obviously, she goes ahead with the asylum case. Now, let's say she is approved or, they accept her case. Where does that leave us in that sense?
Then you don't need to add it. You don't need to add her to your case at all. She'll get a green card. She can apply for a green card a year later.
Right. Okay. So and what kind of time then is it before she could apply for citizenship after she gets her green card?
Okay. Yeah. So that would probably most likely be 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't want to take too much of your time, Jim, because I know it's precious, but I'll stick in another question there in the middle of that. Because she's under this particular scenario, if she needed to leave the country, for example, she's been here for almost, let's say, more or less over a year. If for whatever reason she needed to leave the country, is it valid to use an I-313, pending her asylum case?
You mean an I-131?
I-131, excuse me. Yeah.
If I'm her lawyer, I don't let her leave the United States till she has her green card. No way.
Okay, even though it's even under
yes,
I do
understand. She entered the United States saying she was coming for a visit and going back home, and instead she filed asylum 1 month later.
Sure.
So why I would give any discretion to CBP on whether to let her back in, that's nuts.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. There is hope, let's say. So if we proceed as we are at the moment, either she gets her asylum that way, or we, let's say, wait until the company finishes its sponsorship of my green card, and then at that time we're still eligible to go ahead and get married. She would then be eligible for a green card as my wife here in the States. Is that correct?
Yep. As long as she doesn't get sent to the immigration court. That's right.
Great. Okay. So, that's brilliant. Are you available to be a lawyer? How do we go through you if we wanted to take you on?
Yeah, just email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Say, this is Dust Cloud. I was on the show with Jim at about the 40-minute mark on Thursday. They'll find the audio and then they'll follow up with you.
Okay, that's brilliant, Jim. Much appreciated.
All right, see ya.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Benz, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Great, thank you. What can I help you with?
Good. So yeah, I do have a quick question. So my wife is Canadian, and we when we went through the border, so they didn't give her the I-194 for the 94. And yeah, so now we are planning to apply for the adjustment of status, and then we don't really have the proofs that she is in status. And then the other question would be, does she have to register for the new registration?
When did she enter?
January.
And were you married when you entered?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so if you're going to apply for adjustment, then she won't have to register.
Okay.
When you look at the I-94, I know they might not have the exact I-94 available for download, but if you look at the history on the other link, you might be able to see that it's on there. in her history, just not on the most recent one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. So I've checked it. Yeah. So there is the. So she entered, I believe, 1 year ago, and then there is the I-94 because she entered through the airport, and then the second time, yes, there is no. There's just the entry, but not the exit. But yeah.
So there's nothing related to this entry in the system at all.
There is just the entry.
Yeah,
but
that's all.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Okay. Cool.
Thanks, Ben. See you, buddy.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Do you have another question?
Yeah. So for the registration, so she doesn't need to, right?
Right.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Bye, Benz. All right, let's go to I-130. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. So I just have a weird situation here. I filed an I-130 and an I-485 back in July for my father. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm 26 years old. And then today, or sorry, not today, but a few days ago, I got basically a letter from USCIS saying acknowledgement of withdrawal. But I never withdrew the I-130 and...
Idiots.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm wondering if somebody from my family wrote them a letter or if they just made a mistake or...
Well, what do you think?
I believe that somebody from my family wrote them a letter, but basically acting as me and asking them to withdraw it.
Why would they do that?
I think just just had a grudge against me and my father.
That's too bad. What if you had an interview for your dad's green card, where would it take place?
Buffalo, New York.
Okay. I would get on the phone to USCIS and ask for a tier 2 supervisor and ask them, what in the hell are you guys talking about? I didn't withdraw jack squat, and see what they say. Okay.
Thank you, Jim. And consequently, right after that, the I-485 was also denied.
Yeah, that it would have to be. Yep. That sucks. Yeah. So I would start with that. Now, you might have to call a couple times. You might get people giving you a lot of grief about what happened, but you need to know, like, how was it conveyed? Was it in writing? And then if it was in writing, then you got to do a FOIA to try to get a copy of it. What a weird thing.
Yeah. Do you think I'm going to have to reapply or?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And for a case like this, you wouldn't be open to, for example, like a motion to reopen?
Well, what I was thinking was, because Buffalo, I went up to Buffalo last year and got admitted. I would think that I'll tell you this, if you do a little bit of legwork and figure out what the hell happened, and then email me and say, Jim, this is the guy whose shitbird brother or cousin or mother or whoever withdrew my dad's I-130. Figure out what you can find out from USCIS, and then I'll see what I can poke around. Maybe there's something we can do through our contacts at the U.S. Attorney's Office in that district in New York. Okay, perfect. And sorry, what email should I send it to? Yeah, send it to info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, but only after you talk to USCIS and only after you get some kind of an answer. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Bye, buddy. Isn't that weird? But I'll tell you what, not the first time we've heard about that. Can you guys believe it? All right, let's go to Stressed Out Friend. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great as well. So first of all, thank you for everything you do on this show. It has been incredibly helpful. May Allah bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have some questions about my friend's situation who is very stressed out at the moment. He's currently in the US on a visit visa visiting his aunt. He's from Pakistan. He was in Canada before coming to US as he finished his studies in Canada and now applied for a work permit there and waiting for the approval. He originally got his B1, B2 visa approved in September of 2024 with the stated purpose on the DS-160 being to visit his aunt. Right after his visa was approved, a marriage proposal came from the relative of his mother's friend who live in the US. He and the girl both are Muslim.
Of course, no one's going to believe that one, right? No one's going to believe he was going to see his aunt, then he magically got a marriage proposal after he had the visa in hand. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, yeah. So he and the girl both are Muslims. They began talking through weekly video and voice calls to get to know each other. In November of 2024, he visited her family in the US for 3 days. At the port of entry, he told CBP he was visiting family friend, and he returned to Canada after 3 days. The communication continued after that, and in February 2025, the girl's family visited his parents back home. He
Wait,
couldn't join.
time out.
Yep.
So after getting the visit visa, where he said he was coming to see his aunt, he did enter the United States and stayed for 3 days. Is that what you said?
Yes.
And when he came for those 3 days, did he see his aunt?
No, he didn't see his aunt.
Did he go see the woman who he now wants to marry?
Yeah, he visited their family. So, when the CBP came, he told them that he wants to like visit his family friends, and then he went back after 3 days. And now,
hold on, did he visit family friends, or did he just go see the family that he might marry into?
yeah, those were his family friends. So
okay, I'm starting to see why your friend is stressed out. Keep going.
yeah. So now he had initially plans to go back to Canada after 2 weeks since he had convocation for his degree in June. But he's a bit worried due to recent travel ban for his home country, and that he might not be able to return to the US.
Well, where is he right now?
He is in US. He is visiting his aunt right now.
When did he come back? We skipped over that. Last I heard, he had left after 3 days. When did he come back?
No, sorry, sir. He came to visit his the girl's family in November 2024 for 3 days, and then he went back after 3 days to Canada because his studies were going on at that time.
Right.
Now he has gone to his aunt, visiting his aunt for the purpose he stated on the DS-160.
Are they different? Are they different cities?
Yes.
Okay.
They are very different cities. So he had plans initially now to go back to Canada after 2 weeks since he had convocation for his degree there. But he was just thinking about whether he can go for the route of adjustment of status. But the thing he is stressed out about is that he has a lack of evidence because they're both Muslims, so they haven't dated or lived together. They don't have typical proof like joint bank accounts, lease, or insurance. The things they do have is like they have call logs, messages, pictures of her family from his visit, and then the girl's family also visited his family in February of 2024, so they have pictures of that as well. So he was basically stressed out that given this context, how strong is his AOS case, adjustments case, and should he just go back to Canada or just go for this route?
Well, I will say this: we've handled plenty of Muslim cases where the couple sort of met with the families and everything was sort of planned, and they didn't have a lot of history together. USCIS and the State Department are both used to that, but I think your friend should be stressed out much more for his conduct in getting the visit visa to come see his aunt and then going to visit this family instead. That's to me the much bigger issue. The marriage stuff, you can work that stuff out. But
so
go ahead.
So when he applied the visa, in like January of 2024. At that time, they didn't know each other. So he initially got the appointment in 2026, but the embassy gave him appointment earlier in September 2024. So after the visa was approved, after that he got into contact like for the marriage proposal.
Okay, but let's talk about that. Okay, so he has visit visa in hand. So then what happened? Like how at that point does he magically connect with his family in the United States that has this beautiful?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So his mother actually has a long time like friend working with her. So it is like her relatives visiting in the US. Living in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So his mother has a friend working with her as a colleague for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
The girl's family is the relative of her, actually.
I just think it's going to be very, very hard to prove that this wasn't planned out. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's good. The fact that there was a gap between when he applied,
Mm-hmm.
when he got the visa, but then the issue is, as soon as he got that visa, he didn't come see his aunt. He went to continue on this road of possible marriage, and that's
Mm-hmm.
sort of inconsistent with what he told the embassy. And I always think you set yourself up for trouble when you say, I'm coming to see friends and family at CBP, but really you're coming to see someone who includes the person that you now want to get a green card through.
Got it.
So not impossible. And then the question is, does this poor brother want to have the fight in the United States or outside the United States? I would much rather have this fight in the United States than I would at an embassy in Canada, because they will F him up bad.
Okay. So you think that if he wants to hire you, what percentage are you
Yeah.
thinking of?
I don't know. I want to talk to him. I want to do the timeline. I think a lot of it's going to turn on how much pre-visa interview activity there was between the young man and the family of the young lady.
Okay, got it. There was no after the visa, there was interaction between the two families after the visa was approved.
So would it be fair to say that once Sonny Boy gets his visa, then the aunties all go to work on the phones and say, "Hey, he's coming to the United States. Anybody want to marry this beautiful young man?" And then they all start hitting up aunts, and then they all sort of come up with this particular family. Is that sort of the deal?
I think the information was being shared before that, but the proposal came after.
Yeah.
So
it's a close call. It's winnable. It's a winnable case. It's all going to be about framing and things. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Email me and let me know.
Because he came into contact with the lawyers of his aunt, which he is visiting, and they were saying that you will get denial and you will get deportation, and then there will be permanent ban on you, and you will not be able to enter the United States again.
I think that's arguable. I think that's arguable. Possible, but I think unlikely. I think this is a winnable case. And if I didn't think so, I would tell you.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much, sir.
It's a close call, and they did a lot of dumb stuff. I'll just say that. Other people don't do this, okay? Thanks, brother. Just email us if you want to put us in contact with your friend, okay?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Another edition of the Best of the Immigration Answers Show. Again, my name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration attorney practicing law throughout the United States, out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. If you want to get a hold of us at the firm, you can email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com, or you can call us at 314-961-8200. You also can join our free Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. There's thousands of immigrants talking about the immigration process in there every single day. We also have our YouTube channel where you can subscribe to see all of our videos and to get alerted whenever we go live, whenever we're going to record another episode of the Immigration Answer Show. Maybe you could be a guest and ask us a question. Finally, if you're not following us on TikTok, we suggest you do at Immigration Hacking. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.